Hey, you guys. Okay, let me. Okay, I think I got that adjusted. How is everybody? All right. Thanks for clicking on the video. You guys, it has been, wow, it's been a minute. And I'm sorry for that. I have been one full year. And I have posted mainly on my shorts to keep things going a little bit. But I have so much content that got left unfinished. I have so much work to do. I know that, okay? And that is what I have been working my way back to. It has been an unbelievable year. And I basically unfairly got snatched right off my path and had a lot of things blocking me from being able to work on my content, go forward with my goals, my dreams, my energy. I've had a lot of repairing to do, a lot of damage. I've had to live through a lot, but I'm here now, and I want to start getting some of this content up as I can. Someone specifically, I've also been sitting down trying to go through some of my comments. I'm just in shock, okay? I got out of a 6-year relationship. I had to go through my own mental and emotional breakdown for the last year. And now that person is really struggling and sick with a terminal illness that I'm really hoping they make it through. And that has been consuming me and just, it's just been a lot, y'all. And I'm really shocked at the years that went by. Like even after I started my channel, and that I feel I was unfairly robbed. That's one of the many reasons I had to somehow step back out of that relationship and that energy. I didn't want to, but I was being bound up. I was not going to be able to manifest a damn thing in my life. I was not going to be able to complete any goals. I was going down to hell and going there fast. And I couldn't work on my YouTube channel. I mean, he either controlled everything or demanded everything, or, just toxic alcoholism, round in circles, bickering with just trying to, it was just too much, okay? And I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, but I have sat down now that I've gotten my head somewhat back together and living in a more peaceful environment and have a little more time. I started the channel and didn't really get to learn my community, talk to you guys more, answer more of your comments, keep building onto the material and finishing things. And I'm sorry for that, okay? I have been looking back, though, at some comments and trying to answer as many of them as I possibly can. I really appreciate you guys, your feedback. Thank you so much for watching my content and giving me your thoughts and feedback. It means the world to me, okay? Because this has been one of my life goals for a very long time, way before all this social media blew up. And now TikTok and Instagram and everything is going on. I'm talking back 10, 15 years ago or more, back past MySpace, even before that. I always knew that I wanted to do something, okay? Whether it was write a book, whether it was, I used to write songs, I used to sing, I used to make music. I always knew that I wanted to reach the world somehow with parts of my story and my energy and just share knowledge and create. And I always knew that, even from the time I was a child. I just didn't know exactly how I was going to go about it, okay? And I've been basically throughout the years having to go, life shoots us a curveball. And sometimes we make bad choices. Sometimes we think we're making the right choice and going the path we're supposed to go. But the whole time I have never given up on this. I have always fought to achieve these certain goals, okay? And then, Facebook and social media started blowing up, and I knew in the back of my mind, you better get busy. You better start working on things, and just so much stuff got in my way. But this is an important goal to me. It is important for me to share. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Okay. There's always going to be trolls and hateful people out there that are like, oh, you suck. Oh, look at your teeth. Oh, you just want to make money off your story. Oh, there's going to be that. Hey, but you know what? That's more comments for us. That's more algorithm for us. So let them hate. From now on, I'm not even going to worry. I was going through and trying to delete all those nasty people because I don't want to build a community like that. I want people to feel safe to comment, to have intelligent, respectful, high frequency discussions. All that lower vibrational crapola can get on out of here. It's not a matter of, oh, you can't tolerate anything you don't agree with. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you're on a certain frequency, you don't even let that crap penetrate you. You don't even entertain. So I'll moderate it. I'll get rid of the worst of the worst. But from here on out, I'm not going to stress myself at even giving it a second glance. I'm going to let them comment right on how they want to do it, because that's just more. Go ahead. Put your embarrassing, nasty stuff on out there, because all you're really doing when you do that is you're helping that content creator get their message out even more. That's right. You're helping it show up in the algorithm. So we don't care. We do not care. You have to get thick skin. Okay. Point is, I'm going to accomplish this goal. I'm not going to give up. And every year I would try to get back on this and get a clear vision of where I wanted to go, the message I wanted to pass along, the content I wanted to create, how much time and work I wanted to put into it, and just everything that I wanted to accomplish within those goals. And something would take me off of that path, get in my way, interfere, distract me. I had a mess going on, okay? I've been fighting a battle just to get the right to go forward with my energy, what I want for my life, and what I want to succeed at, So this goal is old. This is not, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon because that's what everybody's doing now. I've been doing this shit. I've been doing this since MySpace and beyond, like way before MySpace. Before that, it was something else. Planning on writing a book or writing songs, performing, that kind of thing, So anyway, here I am. And by request, I'm going to go ahead and do this one because I believe her name is Anna. Hey, Anna. She has requested in the comment section that I do another video discussing addiction and narcissism. Okay. And that is something that I pretty much have known about all my life. Okay. And so it is a good topic though, because there are a lot of people confused about it. I really need to go back and review that old video and try to build onto that. But I did see your comment. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to talk about some of that for you in this video, okay? But I will go back and review that other video that you commented on. And if there's anything I leave out or that I needed to discuss on top of that, I'll do another one, okay? But for today, I'm just going to shoot it off the top of my head, my heart, the knowledge that I know at this point, what I've experienced, and just, I don't know, talk to you guys, give you some insight about addiction and narcissism. Now, before I begin, I will say, please, always do research. I can't say it enough. Do your own research. I love to study. That is something I'm passionate about. I can never just sit up on the internet and hear a word or hear a sentence or a phrase or a concept and listen to somebody talk about it for a few minutes, and then if it's something I'm really interested in and I intend to go on and have other conversations with people about it or teach about it or talk about it ever again myself, I could never just sit there and do nothing and think that that is the end of it. That's all there is to know about that subject. Boom, I got it. I could never do that. I have to make sure that I know what I'm talking about, that I get a deeper, more full understanding of what this actually is. And that's why we do research. We always, okay? We don't just stop at one thing. We go to multiple sources of accurate information. We try to get the most accurate sources we can find. We do a deep dive. We spend time on it. We let it get in there, okay? We really get those wheels turning. And sometimes that's not overnight. Sometimes you may have to study a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years on one subject to really get a grasp on it so that you're even able to teach it to other people. I'm a person that wants to make sure to check, double check again and again to make sure that the information I am passing forward is accurate. Now, a lot of times we're just talking about our life story and our experiences and how we felt about it. Okay, that's not anything anybody's going to be able to go, that's not a fact. That's not accurate. Okay, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But y'all get what I'm saying, okay? And so addiction and narcissism. And this is something that not only was I born into a family like that, my father was an addict and a narcissist and an abuser. Not only was I born into a family like that, so, I mean, it's lifelong, but, you know, I also got a therapist. I got court-ordered into therapy when I was a young teen. Been seeing her off and on for 30 years. Along with my own passion for learning because of the family I was born into and the mindset I wanted to overcome. Along with my own studies, my own research, just really being interested in that and doing that for myself, I also had her, okay, and a lot of mentors and teachers along the way. So, with that, anything in my life that I get passionate about studying, that I might be unclear on or think that I have wrapped my mind around it, but not 100% certain, I will always run it by my professional therapist and get her expert opinion and let her either correct me or reinforce, yep, that's it. Yeah, you got it. That's pretty much it. Or we'll have a discussion about it, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there to give y'all a little bit of, you know, okay, I'm not a professional. This is not my area of expertise, but that's what I do have. I do have at least that much. I have the experience, and I at least take the time to ask questions to a professional person, and I've had her guidance for about 30 years now, and my own research. So, and walking through the damn experience. I mean, that teaches us a lot right there, you know? But a lot of times if we're just sitting in an experience, a lot of times it isn't until we start reading and researching that we even know what the hell is going on in that experience. Like, damn, we have this part of the knowledge, but there's still more. There's still a lot more to it. So, and you know, that sucks in a way. Because not to offend anybody, not to trigger anybody. I'm sorry if I do. Sometimes that's going to happen. But if you think about things on a larger scale, spiritually, and just in terms of life in general and why we're here and what we go through, if you think about it like that, it's a sad ass shame and it sucks. But really, that is the deepest knowledge you can get, is walking down through that experience. Whether it was a great experience, whether it was a effed up, suffering, brutal experience. Still yet, unfortunately, where we get most of our wisdom, our insight, our empathy, our able to look at the next situation and go, oh, I know what that is. I have felt that. I have looked at that. I have lived that. I know it because I did it, or I know it because it was done to me. And the more we go through stuff like that, the more we know, the more insight we have, the more knowledge, the more experience and wisdom, you know, unless we're not doing the proper things with it to process all that stuff and work on healing the pain of it, but you get what I'm saying. Unfortunately, in this life, where we get most of our experience and knowledge is from having to walk through painful shit and having to live through it and come out the other side of it, having learned what we can learn from it. I hate it that anybody has to suffer. I wouldn't wish some of the shit that happens in this world on anybody. It's not what I'm saying, but you get me, right? So you pair that experience, and some of us, it wasn't one time. It wasn't just one boyfriend. It wasn't just one girlfriend or one random situation. For some of us, it has been since birth. Our first breath was taken into the hands of a predator, into a dark, twisted, dysfunctional family dynamic, abusive, narcissistic, okay? For a lot of us, it has been lifelong, working our way out of that toxic situation right into the hands of another toxic situation, because in our early years, we are programmed, and we're programmed good, to fail, to manipulate, to have defense mechanisms, to feel insecure. We have all of these trauma issues. We are heavily programmed. And so we have to start working on that stuff. But for a long time, a lot of us, it has been a lifelong thing of attracting that energy and being attracted to that energy. The next one and the next one. And I wonder why I can't get this right. And, why do people like this flock to my energy? Or it's been problems with our family members throughout the years. And, just that whole shit, right? And unfortunately, yeah, that is where we get a lot of, to me, more than if we had never walked through any of that and we just learned it in a book. I'm sorry. To me, those of us who have gone through trauma after trauma, we have an advantage. We do have more knowledge, more wisdom, and more experience than someone who has just studied it out of a book. That's just, it is what it is. We do have a lot of advantage because we know things they're not going to know. It is what it is. I'm not knocking the experts. They go to school for many years. I respect the hell out of them and their work. And they know what they're talking about. But a lot of them have not experienced a damn drop of this. They don't understand it. They don't get it the way we do. They don't know addicts the way we do. They don't know narcissists the way we do. They don't know those of us who are raised a certain way. We grew up around criminals. We grew up around predators. We grew up watching these examples and how they operated and how they responded to life. And these were our influences. And then a lot of us were out in the streets and we had a rough upbringing through the teens and the early years. And we were around a lot of shit like that. We're going to know. Call it street smarts, call it whatever you want. But a lot of professionals don't have that shit. I'm just saying. A lot of people are limited to book-only knowledge. And I hate it that we had to go through that. I hate it that is why we have this extra wisdom, extra insight, extra fine-tuning. We can read energy on these people. We could probably read them better than the psychologist, quicker, simply because we've been around it all our life. Now, I'm not talking about somebody who just dated a narcissist for 6 months or somebody who, went through a couple-year relationship with an addict and, naturally, I'm not invalidating your pain or whatever happened to you, but naturally, if it was just one bad situation and the rest of your life, you hadn't really been around those kind of people, naturally, you're not going to have all the same immediate recognition and immediate read their energy and know exactly what they're thinking, exactly what they're about to do, exactly what the next move is. You're not going to have this insight into them that a person who has been raised in it all their life and had to really battle and struggle and what attracted to those kind of relationships and went through all that shit for years and years and stayed in therapy and did their research and worked on working their way out of those patterns and failed and tried again and failed and hit and miss, and who has been through all that shit. You get what I'm saying? So, okay, moving on. I hate it, y'all. I hate it. I wouldn't wish that kind of pain and suffering on anybody. That is not what it's about for me. But I will say, for me personally, that is where we get a lot of insight and wisdom and knowledge into these kind of people. And, people on the internet can sit up and go, oh, I don't believe that, or, oh, what do you know? Or, oh, they can assume anything they want, but they don't know. They don't know your background. They don't know how deep it goes, okay? A lot of people really do just assume that you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, and that's not totally a bad thing. You should always double check, like I told you. See, that's why I'm not afraid to speak about it, though. I know my background, and I know anybody that researches, I have full confidence that I am not going to get on here and waste people's time and say something that I hadn't thought out or checked and double checked again, studied over and over, asked a professional so that I can have a good understanding of it myself, so that I don't sound like bozo, and so that I'm not going down the wrong path. You get what I'm saying? So I have absolutely no doubt that anybody that wanted to research what I'm telling them, the bits and pieces, that they would go down that rabbit hole and they would find these things to be true. And I hope they do, because that's what I'm here for, y'all. More than I want to teach anybody anything or be anybody's guide or influencer or coach, I don't really feel qualified for that. I'm still going through a lot in my life. I'm still healing. And if I wanted to do that, there's nothing wrong with doing that while you're still healing. But me personally, that is not what I want to do, as much as I want to just jump on and be able to express. And I want to encourage people with whatever little tidbits from my life that I can pass along, experience, knowledge, insight. I hope it does give them something. But what I hope it mostly gives them the most is the inspiration to go on their own discovery, to go on their own journey, I hope it kicks off the ideas and the questions or the answers that will lead them down a path of personal discovery. That is what I love, okay? I don't necessarily, and I know that's high value. That is what people come to YouTube a lot of the time for, because a lot of the YouTubers have done the work for you. They have done the research for you. They have put together fantastic presentations with a lot of time and energy put into it. And that is high value content, okay? And I want to get much better about that as well. But what I like to do most, for me, I've had a long life of people piling their shit on me, used as a scapegoat and a sacrifice since I was born onto this damn planet with my family, my parents. Then relationships like that at certain times. Not every one of them were bad, of course not. Had some great experiences. But you get what I'm saying. And that energy of, not that I don't love the idea of putting together a fantastic project, content, doing the research, and putting together great content for the viewers. Absolutely. So that they don't have to do it. It solves a problem for them. It's great content. They learn what they need to learn, and that's great. But y'all get what I'm saying. In my life, I've had so many people use me to do it for them. So many people in my life that were supposed to take care of me, that were supposed to look out for me when I was younger, put me in the responsible role, put me in an adult role before it was time, or then with certain partners who were supposed to reciprocate, who were supposed to provide and return the love and the energy to me as well. Same shit. I have had that experience a lot in my life where people want to use my energy to do it for them, to think for them, to do everything for them. They have all of that pulling at me to be their enabler and their shepherd and their mother figure and their, I have 2 kids. My kids are grown. So y'all kind of get what I'm saying. My energy has been destroyed that way before. It has been depleted. And so one of my favorite things I've always been very passionate about is, because I know what a wonderful experience it is for me going on the journey of self-realization, self-development. And I always had so much fun with that. It's one of my hobbies, going down different little rabbit holes on adventures of research and questions and new knowledge and whatever as it pertains to me. So that is what I most like to inspire people to do, is to become more fully themselves and interested in themselves. And what am I about? Oh, I just heard her talking about this and that fascinated me, or that really hit home for me. I'm going to go tonight and I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to really look at this, or, oh, I'm going to look at that. And then you find yourself on this. There you go. You're going on your path that has, if I can just open anybody up just a little bit with a little inspiration or a little bit of insight, and they take off with it, my job's done. That is what I love to do. Okay. All my videos are not going to be like that. I got a lot of different content, but it is what it is. I'm just telling y'all what I like the most. Not necessarily to be, oh, she's the best teacher and she's got all the best knowledge and she's, perfect at everything in her presentations. I am striving to get better at that as I go. But yes, I just hope to inspire people and make people think just a little bit and take off with it wherever they want to go with it and grow from there. Happy journey. So, damn, this video's already almost gotten 30 minutes long. How is that? And I haven't even started talking about the addiction yet, and the addiction and narcissism. But I needed to get that out. I needed to let that be known. All right. So, I wonder if it'll upload in one piece like this. I might not be able to edit it if I upload it much and let it get much longer. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll just let this be part 1. And it kind of bothers me, I know, when I've talked the whole time and not gotten to the point till close to the end. I promise you I'll work on that. But what I'm going to do is I will do a part 2 to this and dive more deeply into, straight away, addiction/narcissism. Because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to talk about, okay? But before I cut this, we'll talk a little about it. A lot of times people get really confused on the number one question is whether their partner is truly a narcissist or just an addict. Is it going to go away? Is it just addiction? They've become more narcissistic because, this is the main question from people. It took me a while to figure all that out as well, even though I've been around addicts all my life and narcissists all my life. I didn't hone in on that study when I was a little girl. I didn't hone in on that, hell, till just a few years back, that specific area of psychology. I didn't need to. Most of us don't really think about it that much until we get involved with somebody who's abusing us. Okay, so the main question there, and here's the fact of the matter. See, I would have to break it all down as far as what is a narcissist. All these things we need to be able to distinguish, okay, and discern between, all right? We are all narcissists, okay? It is survival. Narcissism is survival. It's a survival mechanism so that we can physically, mentally, emotionally survive at all costs. That's what it is, okay? We all have it. We all have some. There is such a thing as primary or healthy narcissism. I'm going to be putting some videos up about that too. Healthy narcissism is just our motivation, our confidence, and keeping that stuff level. So we'll break all that down. I'll go into, what I know at this point in a different video. But to answer that question, and then we'll get into it in the next part more deeply. Sometimes it's hard to tell, guys, if you're dealing with a person with narcissistic personality disorder, if they won't go to a psychologist and have testing done. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they have the mental cluster B personality disorder, which is a mental illness, which is not treatable. It's very hard to treat it, the full-blown disorder. Psychotherapy doesn't work, and there's almost no getting through to those people. I'm almost 100% sure my last partner had the full-blown disorder. And that's not me jumping to conclusions, because I waited years praying to God that it wasn't. Praying to God that I would see something that showed me that this was just because of his alcoholism, or this was just because of the loss of his child, or this was just because of some trauma, and we could work through those things. I prayed and tried for years to see some difference there, and it wasn't happening. He would not go get tested, but I'm almost 100% certain there was some type of brain damage there, underdevelopment of part of the emotional part of his brain, his development, due to some of us get really unlucky and we get with someone who has all the combination. They do have the cluster B personality disorder. There is a mental illness there, or a personality disorder, yes. Also childhood trauma piled all over the top of it. Usually those two things go hand in hand. And a full-blown raging addiction. Some of us get really unlucky and they got all that going on, okay? But that's the deal, you guys. It's hard to tell. You really need the help of a professional to test the situation, to evaluate that partner over a long period of time. They can fool the therapist, play games. You really would need to be with them for a long period of time. And it's just hard to tell, okay? It really can be. But the deal is, if they do not have that cluster B personality disorder, okay, which would, to be 100%, you'd have to have them tested and they would have to be diagnosed. But after a few years of observing them and, going through certain things, you could just about tell. Which either way, you don't need to stick around in anything if it's not changing. Either way, whether they have the actual personality disorder or not, if they're being abusive and they're being dysfunctional and they're giving you hell, we don't owe them that to wait around and see. But most of the time, and then I'm going to have to clip this soon, but most of the time, if they are not mentally ill, if they don't have a personality disorder, and they are just masking pain with addiction, they are coping with the pain of their life or a childhood trauma or whatever it is back there that has not been healed, that they really need to get to the root of, okay? Once they get sober and they start getting to the root of some of their issues, yes, you will see them going back to a more stable, emotionally regulated place where they actually have some empathy and compassion for you. They feel some remorse. They are more apologetic. I mean, to me, this is how I can kind of tell that mine all my siblings have mental illness, okay? One of them's in a mental institution. He's been there for years. He's never going to get out. 2 of them are dead. They both had personality disorders. The other 2 are struggling with addictions and mental illness. My sister has bipolar disorder, and the other brother, he has PTSD. I don't know if he has personality disorder, but he is very high in his addiction narcissism. But he's also a person that when he comes down off all that, he's just really tormented. He doesn't like to be narcissistic. He actually is aware. He's a self-aware guy. He's had 8 or 9 years of training from programs and things that where he went to study and get help. He's very smart. And so I don't feel like my brother is narcissistic personality disorder at all. No, I do not. He has empathy. He has heart. He has conscience. He has a lot. He's an addict. And he is very high in his narcissistic tendencies because of his addiction and his torment. Now, when all that calms down, my brother's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He's loving. He is talented. He has a good soul. He's hurt and he's tormented to death. Okay? He does have PTSD, he has anxiety, he has all that. So that's kind of the difference, you guys. And I'm sorry that I can't go any further. This is going to get too long and I won't be able to upload it. I promise you straight away, I'm going to take a few notes and I'm going to get part 2 to this up for you, especially for you, Anna, because you asked me to do this and I appreciate your support. I appreciate your comment, and it's a topic that something I go through all the time, and it's a topic I needed to probably get some stuff off my chest about anyway. And so yeah, I hope that this has helped somebody. I hope that you guys have gotten some kind of value from this. Please hit like if you have, hit share, leave me a comment, and if you're brand new to my stuff, you guys subscribe for more, okay? All right, thank you for watching, and I'll be back in part 2.